Today we take a step into the new moon in Scorpio. A moment of descent, of darkness, a moment where instinct speaks louder than logic, where endings whisper of beginnings, and where the truth we've avoided begins to dissolve the shell around our soul. This is not a comfortable new moon. It's an initiation into the shadow, into the unknown, into the depths of who we truly are. And with the Mercury Cazimi in the heart of the sun at this new moon, opposing Uranus and Taurus, truths are revealed, structures crack open, and the soul begins a conversation we can no longer ignore. Let's step inside Mars's temple together. Hello, welcome back to Soul Symbols, Astrology and Tarot, where we explore the deeper currents of the cosmos and how we are offered tools for inner alchemy and our soul's journey, where the universe speaks in symbols and the soul listens. So quite a dramatic beginning, but this is quite a dramatic new moon. It is, I believe, quite a decisive moment. It's falling right the middle of the grand water trine. So it's falling there, and it's a kind of pivoting point for us all, I believe, pivoting into who we truly are. So it's like a lunar retreat for us. But Scorpio is dealing with subjects such as fear, instinct, desire, death, depth, destruction, and impermanence. So Scorpio's not gentle. We know that intensity of Scorpio, that kind of trying to get to the bottom of the truth of Scorpio. It's a force that strips us of illusion, and it's the instinctual pull down into the underworld, and the place where we confront what we've refused to feel. And we have this beautiful trine, water trine, which is trying to elicit that from us to bring that healing and that ease and flow and change. So here in the scorpionic darkness, we meet our defense mechanisms. Scorpio can be defensive. Think of the scorpion in, when it's under threat, its tail comes up. So we meet our defense mechanisms. We also meet our sense of possessiveness or obsession and our need for control. Our longing, our desires, we can meet with our rage, our sorrow, our hunger. It is that realm of powerful forces of destruction, but they're not cruel. It's not destruction for destruction's sake. It's the realm of powerful forces of destruction that are not cruel. They're sacred. They break down what cannot hold our souls anymore. So Scorpio, the temple of Mars, it's feminine water ruled by Mars. It can be a place of emotional ferocity in more ways than one. So I see Scorpio as the dwelling place of the dark goddess archetypes. They hold that torch of transformation. So we have Kali, who is the devourer of our ego. She cuts the cords of illusion. And the Morrigan, who stands at the battlefield of shadow and sovereignty. And of course, Inanna, she descended. She was stripped of her regalia, stripped naked, stripped of her power. and went into the underworld, where she was butchered and hung on a hook and rose again. She rose up again. And Persephone, who ultimately becomes queen of what she once feared. These goddesses, they teach us that destruction is not failure. It's part of a natural cycle. It's part of nature, that death and rebirth, the regeneration. It's an initiation into that cycle. So these dark goddesses can be whispering to us that what we cling to is already dying. Let it go. Become what you're becoming. With all this talk of death and destruction and transformation with Scorpio, the card that represents it in the tarot is the death card. It's putrefaction and ego surrender. That is the alchemical process, putrefaction. So this new moon, in a sense, is that embodiment of the death card. And it's not that physical ending, it's the final stage of a material cycle, whatever that is in our lives. We'll look at the charts and your houses when I do the horoscope, and you'll see what cycles we may be talking about. It is that alchemical process of putrefaction. It's a breakdown, a decomposition, and a dissolving. So it's where our ego falls on its knees, so to speak, like Inanna, stripped. Old identities begin to rot. I am channeling the energy of Scorpio here, intensity and death. Beliefs, some of our beliefs may crumble, attachments may loosen, patterns that have become too heavy to carry forward. It's sacred rot, a kind of composting of the self. But to transform on a serious note, you mustn't bypass the pain. None of us must bypass that pain. We need to move through it, beyond it, move into it. And the death card frees the soul by dismantling what imprisons it for this new cycle. And Mars, just to add to the joy of this new moon, Mars is depicted by the Tower card. And it's destruction as liberation. The Tower, to me, always brings up the image of the bulldozer, clearing the land by force, breaking down everything unstable, everything built on fear, lies, or avoidance. It's that moment the universe is saying to us, this structure cannot support your future. There's lightning, there's collapse, there's desolation in that card. There's a shock of seeing the truth without filters of what is stable or unstable in our life. It's the work, it's like that work of Shiva, the destroyer, the liberator. And in the rubble of that tower, we find lost talents, forgotten desires, hidden treasures, treasures in the darkness, our soul essence, buried under years of coping, pleasing, surviving. So in one sense, we can see Scorpio as the sign of composting. It takes what has died and transforms it into nourishment. So what you let go of now during this new moon and set new intentions becomes your fertilizer for the version of you that is waiting, just beyond this new moon. So Our grief, our fear, our anger, our endings, all of them become rich soil for our future. Nothing's wasted with scorpionic mysteries. And I'll just tell a quick um, personal story to demonstrate this. When I was in my late 30s, um, I was walking home. And as I walked home, I was walking through, it's this time of year, walking through autumn leaves. And they were beautiful, and the noise and the crunching. And I heard something spoken so deep in my soul, and it said, "There is beauty in death." And I went indoors, and then I received a phone call to go to the hospital. My grandfather was dying. And I thought about this. I thought about there is beauty in death, and thought, how can it be? How can it be? How can there be beauty? Now, my grandfather's dying. But what was beautiful was the collection of the family around his bedside. What was beautiful was the peace that came over the room as he passed. There was a beauty in it, a painful, deeply painful beauty, but there was beauty. And it didn't end there. It became fertilizer for me, for endings. As people died, as I lost relationships, as relationships broke down, I know there is fertilizer in that. I know there's regeneration in that. So we need to hang on. We need to kind of take heart with this process of destruction, because creation needs destruction. We can see in the life cycle of the salmon going back to the spawning ground, spawning, dying, then feeding the birds, feeding the wildlife, ending up on the forest ground, and, fertilizing the soil. So we need not lose heart with that. So here is our chart for the new moon. I've been speaking a lot. I haven't finished yet, but I want the new moon chart up. So here we have the new moon in Scorpio. It's making this beautiful Cazimi, or Mercury is making the Cazimi with the sun. And it's opposite that, Uranus in Taurus. So here we have the wonderful chart with Mars sitting here in Sagittarius. It's Mars's temple. Mars can't witness because it's next door, but nevertheless, there it is. And there's Mercury in retrograde. Also Uranus in retrograde. So we've got that reviewing, redoing. It is the time now to go down. In fact, we have Neptune retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, we have Jupiter retrograde. So it is that turning point. It's the time that we're going back down. We're going back in, okay, to review, to look at. So let's have a look at this Mercury Cazimi. Cazimi just means in the heart of the sun. It's Arabic, I believe, in the heart of the sun. So this will be a moment of pure clarity. Mercury is standing between the sun and the earth. It's called an inferior conjunction, but basically it's nearer Earth, it's nearer. We have more clarity with that retrograde there. And it's going back to redo, the same as Uranus is going back to redo and finish off what it started in Taurus 7 years ago. So it will be whispering truth to us directly into our awareness. We need to make time on this new moon to truly listen and see what we can hear. It can be that what has been hidden within us and around us comes to light. secret surface. Our instinct becomes insight. We may have triggered ways of behaving, or we can't understand why we react the way we react. We should receive insight. We can make intentions for insight. Excuse me. But our intuition will become undeniable at this time. So with the Mercury Cazimi, you might, I might, we might receive a confession. There's a lot in the world that has begun to surface. The Epstein files are a start. Corruption in governments, and on and on and on. We're seeing this slow but sure reveal, which could come to a peak on this new moon and the Mercury Cazimi. We could receive revelations, a psychological breakthrough, or we could notice a truth that we've long avoided about ourselves, about others, about our situations. Messages from the unconscious. You know, Mercury, I've said it lots of times, was a psychopomp. He went up to Mount Olympus and he went down to the underworld, to Hades. We could have those messages from our unconscious. So be aware of that. Or it could simply be a moment of inner clarity that changes everything. This is shadow communication, dark wisdom illuminated. And then this new moon and this Mercury Cazimi is in opposition to Uranus in Taurus. So Uranus has been there for 7 years. It ingressed into Gemini for a short while and it's gone back into Taurus. I believe it will be going back into Gemini April. So Taurus is that realm of stability. It's Venus's temple, sensuality, body, resources, self-worth. So that Taurus energetic wants to hold steady, but Uranus is saying, not now. So that opposition can bring sudden change, or it may be the sudden change that's already happened that's being tied up. There could be shock, but I think more than anything, there's going to be breakthrough. There could be disruption in finances, values, habits. Could be disruption in the food supply being Taurus. You know, we could have that happen. There could be that awakening in relationships, awakening to who we are, seeing people differently, those we love. Unexpected desires, they can emerge. So be open to those, particularly in your relationships, your intimate relationships. Or we could have a crack in our comfort zones. So what you cling to for security may no longer be secure. And that is not punishment. It's liberation. It's a breaking out for our soul. It's a smashing of that comfy cocoon. Okay. And with that Uranus in Taurus in opposition, it activates that Hermetic principle of polarity. So in a sense, they're opposite, but they're also two expressions of the similar truth. They're both yin. They're both receptive. Taurus is the temple of Venus and Scorpio, the temple of Mars. So it's that yin and yang going on there. So Taurus is about steadfastness, resilience. It's about luxury, virility, fertility. It's also the temple, not the temple. It's also where it's fixed spring, as opposed to fixed autumn of Scorpio. So the light is dominant in Taurus, where the dark is dominant in Scorpio. So Scorpio, as we've seen, is teaching us release. Taurus teaches us embodiment. Mars brings desire, and Venus is bringing that reception to us. It's life and death, the fertility and the death and destruction. It's holding and letting go. It's pleasure, Taurus, and it's pain, Scorpio. It's stability, Taurus, and it's transformation, Scorpio. So this new moon is asking us to balance both of them, to root into our bodies while shedding what is rotting. That rot. I don't know why I giggle at that, but while shedding what is rotting at the roots. So what is this new moon asking of us? So spend some time and ask yourself, what is dying? What wants to be released? What truth has been buried? What pattern have you outgrown? Where am I resisting impermanence and change? What fear hides my soul treasure? The door to the underworld is open. You only need to walk through. Okay? So as this Scorpio new moon darkens the skies, just remember that darkness is not the opposite of growth. Life is a cycle, and it's where growth begins. So thanks for joining me on this sacred descent. If the message resonates, like, comment, subscribe for more astrology and tarot wisdom, Karen style. I will be going on to do each horoscope. I will also be pulling a shadow card as it's Scorpio, and we might have lots of shadow work to do if you're into that. If you just want the themes and topics of the houses, the tarot card will come at the end. So there's no points for watching it, but it's there if you need it. I also have on my website a little ritual bundle for those of you who like to ritualize the new moon. And this would be an excellent one to ritualize. And it has the Scorpio new moon release ritual. And it has that kind of ritual flavor to it. You have the putrefaction, the alchemical journaling descent, the earth anchor ritual for Taurus grounding, and a uranium breakthrough ritual for that sudden change. So I'll leave the link below. It will be at my website, and it's just a gift for you all. Yeah, just a gift for you all. Okay, if you're into that. I will see you at your sun, moon, or rising. Hello, Aries. What do we have for you? So this new moon is happening for you in your 8th house. So that can be karmic debts. It can be physical debts. It can be inheritance, money, sort of big money that comes in from elsewhere. Something's being seeded here. If you've been going through probate for inheritance, you might get clear messages here. If there's issues with yourself in terms of working through debt management or waiting for money to come through, there's opportunity for you to hear that here with this new moon. See something for the ongoing transit of the moon. And opposite, we have Uranus here in your 2nd house. So that's your possessions, that's your money, your own resources, your income. It can be anything that you possess, property, objects. So we have this opposition going on here. So there may be that breakthrough to your income, to your normal steady income via this 8th house. You have Jupiter sat here in your 4th, okay, part of the grand water trine. And this will bring you some fortuitous expansion and help here. So if you're having it's home family roots, if you're having extensions done, or you're had problems with your mortgage or difficulty finding the money, there's that sense that there will be fortune here coming for you with Jupiter there. Jupiter's going back over old ground. So yeah, trine to this new moon. So it could be that money is coming via this home issue. Okay. Um, yeah, you've got Mars here in your ninth. It could be that you're working on your beliefs, you're working on maybe manifested the karmic stuff. Yeah, the karmic day. This is very likely going to be what's happening. It's in that feminine water. It's that maybe an old cycle, an old ancestral cycle is being brought to a conclusion here, finished off, and you just need to use Mars there to drive those beliefs through in terms of this cycle ending for you. But there may be that sudden breakthrough here in your second house that changes the way that you believe in yourself. Mars is hosting here. Mars is your ruling planet. You do have Chiron here in your first house. So there is that healing going on. Maybe it is to do with your beliefs about your money, about receiving the support you need to have an adequate income, or that, the karmic debts will be over, the karmic cycles will be over. So that's what I have for you there, Aries. Just the themes and topics. So just look at your chunky money, inheritance, issues about inheritance, karmic debts, karmic cycles closing off, sudden awakening in your income, in your second house, sudden breakthroughs with your income there. Okay. Yeah, and the Mars being your beliefs, so it could be your beliefs about yourself and your ability to bring that in, maybe being transformed. You would know what Uranus has been doing here in your second house of value, self-worth, as I say, income. So let's pull you a card, see what we have for you, Aries, here. So you have the second sigil. I'm going to get the book because I cannot read the sigils. So, oh, wow. Yeah, your beliefs about your ability to earn money. Yeah. This is the second sigil. It is self-concept. So your blind spot, it's saying, is your desire to see yourself, or for other people to see you as a good person. The ego is the singular identity that you call by your name. It is the amalgamation of all the things you identify with, the things that you call I, me, or mine. Ego is self-concept. So yeah, look at your self-concept in terms of your ability to earn your own income, keep yourself secure independently. And, there may be breakthrough there for you. This second house is also about self-worth. So there may be some work to do there with your self-worth. Okay, Aries, that's what I've got for you. Bye-bye. So, hello, Taurus. This new moon for you is happening over here in your seventh house, and the opposition to it is Uranus in your first house. Now, your ruler is sat here over in your seventh house. She's exiled over there, so not strong to bring through the significations. But this is your seventh house of relationships. So, and with Uranus having that breakthrough in identity, because this is all about you, your first house, if you're looking for your rising sign. So it's actually about your identity. And you may find during this period, during this new moon, surrounding this time, or you have been seeing over time with Uranus in your first house. It's been working in there for about 7 years, I think since 2018. So you may find that you're seeing things mirrored in other people that are reflecting yourself. You may have struggled to see it. What is it? Are you clinging onto an identity or a certain way that you see yourself that needs to be let go? Is your partner, the people you're around, clinging on to a sense of identity or working from a strong ego, and you're having some form of conflict here? Well, whether it's you, whether it's them, there's going to be this big breakthrough. So stay open. You're going to have this clarity with Mercury here in opposition to Uranus. There will be that huge breakthrough. And I'm guessing with Venus, your ruler in your seventh, it will be within relationship here. So look at those areas, relationship. It can also be work relationships. So look at all of your relationships, but particularly your intimate relationships, relationships with partners. You may have some daring, spicy stuff that you're desiring, that you want to try out. Well, with Mars, the ruler of this moon in the eighth house, that's really all the taboo stuff as well. So, maybe you need to open up to the things that you previously thought were taboo or off the menu. Just really open up to your sexual desires or any other desires within the relationship, that deepening of intimacy with your partner. There may be confessions here. There may be confessions you need to give, or a partner or someone you're in relationship needs to give, in order to clear the decks, to bring authenticity and truthfulness back here. Scorpio will be digging away. If you've got a partner who's Scorpio, you're in trouble. Okay, so just be open to hearing those messages and getting that clarity, whatever you've been working through in terms of you in relationship. Okay, so I'm going to pull you a shadow card and we'll have a little look at that. So only a quick sort of scope through your chart, just to get a flavour. Lots of things in the rituals and journal prompts there. Right, you have sigil 56. I'm just going to have a look at what sigil 56 is. Let's have a looky. One sec. Oh, I was nearly there. All right, sigil 56. The comfort zone. If you've drawn this sigil, you are not clearly seeing that so much of what you're doing is about your aversion to the unfamiliar. Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe it's your partner who wants to have spice things up and you're a little worried about it. Just joking there. Sometimes aversion to the unfamiliar in the way to ensure you will never line up with what you really desire and truly need. So there's that sense of dropping that fear of the unknown, very scorpionic, and, fearing the unknown. So maybe something to think about in your journal prompts, Taurus. Open up. It's that safety, and you are Taurus, and that comfort and safety is a big thing for you. The known and predictable, this steady comfort and luxury and things that you like. But yeah, open up. You might surprise yourself and those around you. All right, Taurus, that's what I've got for you. Pop on over to soulsymbols.co.uk if you want more journaling prompts. and you want to get that ritual download from there. All right. Bye-bye, Taurus. I hope that was helpful. Hello, Gemini. So this new moon for you is in your sixth house. That's the house of work, hard work. It's the joy of Mars, who happens to be in your seventh, but it's also the house of health as well. And the opposition you have is with Uranus in your 12th. I'm guessing by now that you, Gemini, have got an insight to what Uranus has been doing in your 12th house. That's the hidden house, house of the unconscious, hidden enemies. With the new moon here, talking of hidden enemies, this is open enemies in the sixth house. So your ruler is sat here having this Cazimi, so beautiful clarity, absolute clarity for you on maybe what is hidden. This may be what Uranus is doing here in your 12th house. It is bringing the closure to the things you have either found out already and you need to work out in your own mind. Can be to do with issues of work. You have this grand trine in what's called the Arta houses. Arta means earth, but it's work in your second, your sixth, and your 10th house. So it could be, somebody who's kind of been a little bit underhanded at work, who you now see, or there's clarity coming through. You've got Venus here, so we're talking relationships and harmony here. So this new moon is likely to bring up those issues, those work issues, and to bring to light anything that is hidden. And as I say, that's open enemies. It's what intuitively I thought to say. So we'll go with that. I'm not going to go into depth here with your chart. It's just an overview. So the breakthrough is in that hidden house. That can be isolation. It can be addiction. There can, with your health, it could be a breakthrough with addiction. The last piece of information that you need to really overcome here, or for someone you love to overcome that. But yeah, it's hard work, employers, employees, small animals as well. So I'm going to pull you a shadow card if you want that. Stick around. If you're into the ritual, go over to soulsymbols.co.uk and find that ritual. It's also got a load of journal prompts in it that are helpful. Okay, let's have a look. What have we got for you, Gemini, with your beautiful Cazimi? Okay, you've got 71, the sigil 71. I'm going to find it, then I'll show you it. 71. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of... Right, there's huge amount of writing on it, so I'm not going to give you all that. There's your sigil 71. It's called depletion. Okay, if you've drawn the sigil, you're depleted. Maybe you're working too hard and it's affecting your health. You can't do what is necessary because you have no energy, and therefore no forward movement can occur until you replenish yourself in some way. Scorpio is the time to rest, go within. Yeah, new moon, it's dark for a few days, so replenish. Yeah, use it to journal, have a look where you may be depleted. People tend to draw this sigil when they're suppressing their exhaustion to the degree that they can't see or admit to the fact that they're depleted. Alternatively, they may see that they're depleted, but are telling themselves, hang on, turn the page, that it doesn't matter and that they have to carry on during... Oh, sorry. And that they'll have to carry on doing the same thing anyway. Yeah. Because it's a house of health, your sixth house. And because of the hiddenness of your 12th house, do be careful. Have a look at where you may be depleted. Are you clinging on to the thought that you can do this, that you can work through it? Gemini are very exuberant and energetic in lots of ways, but check that out, Gemini. Okay, that's what I have for you. Feel free to like and subscribe if it's resonated with you. All right, see you in the next one, Gemini. So, hello, Cancer. Let's see what we have for you. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So, this new moon for you is sitting here in your fifth house. And obviously, your ruler for Cancer is the moon, and it is the new moon in Scorpio. It's in your fifth house. This is the house Scorpio fifth. It's the joy of Venus, and Venus is sat there, although she's exiled, she's very happy there. But the themes of the house are children, romance, entrepreneurship, creativity, risk taking, gambling on the horses or the stock market. Okay. And then the opposition you have with Uranus is in Taurus and your 11th house. Now, Uranus has been there for 7 years. It's retrograded back in, and it will be back in Gemini in your 12th house, I think, in April. I could be wrong, but check that out. I forgot to put the dates down. So, this is a bit of an auspicious new moon for you. It's looking like it is going to be a beautiful new moon for you. But I should imagine with Uranus there, finishing up tying the loose ends since 2018, you've probably had a massive shift in terms of groups, networks, the people behind the scenes who support you, who cheer you on, praise you. That may have changed enormously. Uranus is there to clear that up. And with this opposition with Mercury here, Cazimi, you are going to get some clear, fantastically clear messages about this fifth house. It could be for your children. There may be changes there. You know, Moon is the mother, Sun is the father, and we have Venus here, which could be a daughter here. So there may be some messages about your children, some changes there, some new things coming about there, new form of relationship. Maybe they're leaving home, maybe they're moving off to college, maybe they're moving back in, but there's a definite change there in this area. Now, the grand trine for you are in the Dharma houses, which is Cancer first, Scorpio fifth, and Pisces ninth. Okay, so they're your Dharma houses. They're the purpose you were born for. Okay, and you know your Cancer. This is if it's your ascendant and not your sun or your moon that you're listening for. But Cancer, nurture, care, protection, all those kind of things. But there may be some things that you need to let go. Maybe you need to let go of children. Maybe there's a big change in your life and you need to look at why you want to cling on to your children in terms of having them at home. It could be to do with issues of you know, power dynamics control, or fears of what may happen to them, what's going to occur if they go out in that big, wide community, the 11th house. It could also be about, as I said, it could be about risk taking. Maybe you're risk adverse and you know, this new moon in Scorpio, maybe you've got some desires to do something a bit risque in any way. It's about romance too, so it could be risque in the bedroom or risque in relationship. Maybe there is that person you're looking at, but you're too fearful, too shy to go for it. Well, I think this Scorpio new moon is calling out to you to take a risk. I'm not suggesting you take any risks that you don't calculate. just what the signs in the sky are saying. But there should be some real clarity here with Mercury, okay? So it's just a brief overview, Cancer, uh, to let you know what's going on. But have a look at what you're clinging to, what you're not letting go, what you're fearful of. What is it that you are fearful of? That is preventing the growth. What do you need to compost? Answer. Okay, let's have a look at your sigil. Oh, you have sigil 22. I'll just find the page. Sigil 22, just something that you can work with. This is the blind spot oracle. Okay, so you have, oh, got to get it right with the camera. Where's my camera? There it is. Sigil 22. It's called endurism. If you've drawn this sigil right now, you're enduring something that you should not be enduring. Okay, you're enduring that water trine and this Scorpio energy. You are probably telling yourself that it is good enough. Think about that common saying, what doesn't kill makes you stronger. No pain, no gain, or it is what it is. These sayings all have one thing in common. They help you to release resistance to a situation where you feel helpless, to get out of a painful circumstance. Releasing resistance is a good thing. So where is the harm of these sayings? The harm is that they can serve as justifications for not actively making changes so that you do not move beyond a painful situation. They can serve to keep you stuck in that pain. Yeah. So Cancer, don't stay stuck in the pain. Release any pain. We talked a lot about pain in this video. So release the pain. Don't endure things. And Cancer, you are caring, nurturing, protective, but don't do that to the detriment of yourself. So self-care. You do have Jupiter in your first house, okay? So he will bring expansion. It could be that you're enduring pain and it's growing and growing with Jupiter there, but Jupiter's exalted there and he can bring some truth into the situation for you, okay? And also Saturn can bring you up here, oh, I'm pointing up here in your ninth house, that's Pisces, can bring you a discipline there, the discipline to let go, the discipline to take care of you. Cancer, your body. Cancer, the moon, body, circumstance. Take care of yourself, Cancer. Journal about that. Okay. There are also journaling prompts in that ritual, the ritual PDF I have. So go over to Soul Sims. It's a long video. I'm getting tired. Go over to www.soulsymbols.co.uk. You can book a reading there too. All right. Enjoy the Scorpio New Moon. Bye, Cancer. I'll see you in the next one. Hello, Leo. So, this new moon for you is happening in your fourth house, which is home, family, roots. That can be ancestral roots, the roots, your root family that you came from, or it can be the family that you're in now. Okay. And you've got your ruler, the sun there. So, very important new moon for you. It's on the angles as well. 4th, 10th, 1st and 7th. You've also got this opposing you, you've got this Pluto. So huge changes in relationships here. There's something that you are needing to let go of or to see. The opposition you have with Uranus is in your 10th house. So that is the public house. It's your public faith. it's your career, it's your vocation, it's how you're seen outside, and the fourth house is more your inner world. So that's at the bottom. The fourth house is midnight, so it's really down the bottom of the chart. So, inner work for you, Leo, in terms of your home and family. The ruler of this new moon is sat in your fifth house, which is to do with children, it's to do with romance, risk taking, creativity, entrepreneurship. Mars isn't witnessing this new moon, but nevertheless, he's hosting it. Okay. So, all the topics we talked about, the clinging onto it, could be you've got Venus there, could be relationships within the home are showing up, some difficulties, some conflicts that you need to deal with. There may be confessions that come. Maybe you've been sensing something there. Maybe something's breaking through in your work, your vocation. Maybe you're moving your work into the home here. Maybe that's a seed that's coming there, or Uranus has been here in your 10th for seven years since 2018. He only not long ago retrograded back in, and he will be back into Gemini, I think April time. So he's tying up loose ends here, as is Mercury. But there will be clarity with this tension between the 10th, your public face, and your private inner space of face with your family here. But they're the themes and topics. There's a lot more going on, but I think because it's on your angles and your ruler, the sun, is the main character here. You've got this Cazimi with Mercury, there are messages, there are clarity coming. There is breakthrough with that Uranus. So whatever the issues are here with home, family, moving home, maybe a divorce with Pluto here that can sometimes bring breakups. And with Mars there with the children, maybe there's some action going on there in terms of having access to children. But you take the topics as they resonate. Home, family, roots, could be ancestral work, could be cycles that have gone on for generations that you are in the midst of working with ancestral work, ancestral lineage, and you're breaking through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you a shadow card if you want one. It will help you with prompts in your journals. But apply those topics, apply those topics to your life because it will be dependent on your chart. It's a very brief look. What's interesting here, I've just noticed, is the grand water trine is in your fourth, eighth, and 12th. That's called your moksha. So that is liberation. So what we were talking about, liberating the soul, something cracking open to liberate the soul. Okay. Yeah. So maybe that ancestry work. Jupiter's blessing you there in the house, the 12th house, the hidden house, the things that are not so clear. Okay, let's have a look. We will break these cards and we will pull you. Oh, that looks interesting, sigil. It's number 31. I'm going to have a look in the book and I'm going to put my other glasses on because I've been straining. I've got my long distance glasses and I need my reading glasses. Okay, so this sigil is called limits. If you've drawn this sigil, you're not seeing your limits. That's so Leo-like, isn't it? Or someone else's limits. Yeah, that Pluto in the seventh in your relationship. Most of us don't want to face our own limits because they make us feel restricted and bad about ourselves. We don't want to face other people's limits because of what accepting those limits would mean for us or for them. We have a very negative association with limits, but if we cannot admit to our limits, we will make decisions that are detrimental either to us or the other person or both. Okay, it says a lot more, but they are beautiful things to look at. So those limits, where are you limited? Where won't you accept your limits? I have to put these back on. And as I said, it is in your spiritual liberation, okay? Um, your water trine, and you've got Saturn here up in your eighth. Okay, that's chunky money. That's yeah, yeah, let's not go into that. But look at your limits. Saturn will be putting limits there, up there in your eighth house, Pisces. Okay, then that's what I have for you, Leo. Good luck with all of that. Good luck with the new moon. I have the ritual information over at www.soulsymbols.co.uk. You can also book a reading there if you feel predisposed to do so. Okay. All right. See you in the next one, Leo. Bye bye. Hello, Virgo. So you've got this new moon down here in the third house, Scorpio. Third house is the joy of the moon. So the moon's extremely happy here. The topics of the third house are siblings, uh, extended family, can also be your day to day, the water you swim in, your environment. Uh, you drive to work is short journeys. Okay, so you've got that going on there. You've also got your ruler Mercury, who is Cazimi, the sun. So you're going to get some beautiful energy coming to you here, Virgo, with this. You're going to get clarity, you're going to get insights, you're going to get breakthrough. It could be to do with the relationships. You have Venus here also co-present, the relationships within your local environment, with your community, with your neighbors. Uh, the ruler is in your fourth house. He can't witness this moon, but he is sitting there. That's home, family, roots. Okay, he's overseeing this new moon. Um, Home, family, roots, your local environment, your brothers, sisters, uh, extended family. There could be some work to be done there, some issues there, some breakthroughs there with brothers, sisters, extended family. There could be disputes with neighbours that are going to get sorted, but it's going to take some looking inward on your behalf, Virgo. Maybe you're going to have a change of environment. You have the opposition to Uranus up here in your ninth house, which is about Taurus. It is about higher learning. The Taurus has been, not Taurus, Uranus has been here since 2018 doing his thing, his breakthroughs, his disruptions, his changes. So you may have found a lot of change in terms of higher learning, your beliefs, faith. It may be that you've begun or at some point since 2018, you've had a breakthrough, you've begun higher learning. It can be the esoteric learning, the mystical, the yeah, it can be astrology basically. It can really be astrology. Okay, so the ruler is down here of Taurus. It's Venus again, bringing that harmony. So it could be that you need to buff up on some skills here. This is also about your communication. Um, the third house, your networking, tech, that sort of thing, your online stuff. But yeah, there may be something about the way you are communicating. Um, and you're going to have breakthroughs because you change your beliefs either about other people with that Venus there, it's a Venusian house, or about yourself. So you have that shift in beliefs. Maybe a big spiritual shift for you. So I would look into the tarot reading there. Tarot reading? Why did I say that? Well, that's interesting. That came out. Um, what was I going to say? I don't know. So take that as a bit of a message there, Virgo. Maybe maybe you're going into tarot reading. This is the esoteric. So good luck to you lot if any of you are studying tarot here and you're a Virgo sun, moon, or rising listening to this sign. Okay, it's just a quick overview, okay, because I'm going to do you your shadow card and the works on you, Virgo, is to look at what this new moon means for you. Okay, this will help with your journaling. It will help you, give you another resource. There are journaling prompts as well on that ritual list that I have. Okay, right. So you have number 32. That's your sigil. I'm just going to find it in the book and then change my glasses. Oh, that's interesting. Leo had 31. It's the next card up. That's very interesting. So if you've got energy in Leo, go have a look at that. Or you've got siblings who are Leos, sun, moon, or risings. Okay. This Virgo for you, the sigil says judgment. If this is a bit harsh, okay, Scorpio, if you have drawn this sigil, your negative judgment in this scenario is making it impossible to get the result you want. Okay. Virgo, you're analytical. Um, you have that ability to give constructive criticism, but you have a large inner critic and you can be very self-judgmental. Okay. To have a perspective at all, you must judge. It's necessary judging. To even call a clock is to judge it as a clock and thus restrict its potential energy to that of a clock. We judge. That's what people do. Any judgment, like any tool, can be beneficial to you or harmful to you, depending on when and how it's used. We all have a perspective about each other. If you have an opinion, you've judged. Trying not to have an opinion defies life. It is the flexibility or openness of the opinion that makes the opinion either more or less painful. And it is our perspectives and individual preferences that fuel universal expansion. Hearing other people's honest perspectives can be very beneficial to our growth and to the expansion of the universe. A great many people try to get rid of all judgment in themselves. This is neither beneficial nor possible. However, noticing and changing your painful judgments, the ones that seek to push something away from you, as well as developing a flexibility in your perspective, is beneficial. So there you go, Virgo, judgment. Journal about it. Have a look. Is there judgment you can't let go? Is there an inability to want to judge? Think about all those things, okay, and journal them. It's Scorpio season, shadow season. Time to get down and dirty with Scorpio. All right, then, Virgo. If you want the ritual, I think I said it already. Sorry if I have. The ritual paperwork, that's over at www.soulsymbols.co.uk. And you can also get a reading, a non-judgmental reading. All right then, Virgo. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. So, hello, Libra. This new moon for you is here down in your second house of income, finance, resources, everything you need to survive: home, income, food, shelter, etc., etc. Can be your possessions, your property, anything to do with that. Also to do with your self-worth. Um, it can be to do with what you value. Um, the ruler of this new moon is sitting here in the third, which is your local environment, okay? Siblings, extended family, um, trips, your daily, okay? So your ruler, Venus, is co-present with this new moon. So we have issues of income, not issues, we have income, and maybe with your, with Venus there sat with it, although Venus is in exile here. Okay, she's opposite Taurus, ruling Taurus. She's ruling that Uranus there. So a beautiful mutual exchange going on there, even though your planet is in exile. So the opposition to this new moon and the Mercury Cazimi is this Uranus up there in your eighth house. Uranus has been there since 2018. This eighth house can be karmic debts, physical debts. It can be to do with sexuality, with death. Okay, the eighth house can be to do with death. We got Taurus there, that lovely earthy Taurus, looking for resilience and steadfastness. This is also about chunky money. So that's why death, it can be to do with inheritance, legacy money, money for insurance payouts, tax payouts, etc., etc. If you have been waiting, Uranus opposite Mercury may be bringing you that breakthrough and that clarity. Okay, Mercury Cazimi here in Scorpio will bring messages, and it can be communications for money that you're working from, debt relief or payment of debts, and also that ancestral karmic debt, or cycles of karma that are being broken here and broken through. You will know what Uranus has been doing in that area of your life since 2018. Okay, they are the topics. I am not going to go massively into it, simply because I don't want this massively long, okay? And I'm going to read you a shadow card honoring Scorpio with the darkness, the descent, and the release in ego. Okay, so it may be one last thing I would say, this beautiful grand water trine is in your Arta house. Arta means earth, but it's work. It's the work you do. Second is your income. 6, Pisces, is hard work, employment, employees, and health. And the 10th house is your work, your vocation, your career, your public face. Okay, that is where your grand trine is in, and it is what Mercury and the new moon are trying to, yeah, so it could be that discipline, that hard work is bringing in that income. Okay, you're blessed up there in your 10th. It may be that you get more public recognition. Your sense of worth and value is extended for you here in your second house. It is to do with how you value yourself and the things that you have. Okay, you use the topics, apply it to your life. Okay, and I'm going to pull you shadow card. If you want more journal prompts apart from this card, go over to www.soulsymbols.co.uk and pick up that that ritual, the ritual package, because it will have more journal prompts. Okay. Your sigil is number 13. I am now going to swap my glasses to my reading glasses and find it in the book. What beautiful blind spot it's bringing up. They've been very, very spot on so far. So, Libra. I'm going to hold that up there for you. Is it the right? No, it's up. Libra. Okay. Their goodness is your blind spot. If you've drawn this sigil, you and potentially they, whoever they are not clearly seeing the goodness, capability, or excellence of the other person, people involved in this situation. Okay. You are currently only aware of negatives and potential negatives. As a result, you are making decisions and taking actions relative to that person, those people, that will not end up benefiting them or you. Ask yourself, what am I so afraid will happen if I admit to what is truly good and capable and excellent about them? Perhaps if we admit to their goodness, capability, or excellence, we will have to admit to our badness, incapability, or failure. Perhaps we're distrusting of others and taking more note of their negatives so as to keep ourselves safe. If we see what is negative about them, we can justify protecting ourselves against potential ways they could injure and thus shutting ourselves off to them or using criticism to try to get them to change. Okay, Scorpio harshness, their goodness. So that is the shadow card, and that is what I have for you, Libra, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Hello, Scorpio. So, a big one for you. It's in your first house. First house is the joy of Mercury, which is Cazimi, the sun there. It's the helm, it's the place you steer from. So, everything to do with you, your identity, your body with the moon there, your purpose with the sun there, your communication with Mercury there, and your relationships with Venus there can be to do with your work, your money, your purpose, um, and specifically for you, Scorpio, as a water sign, it is to do with Dharma because it's the Dharma house is the first one. You, the fifth house, Pisces, is your pleasure, your children, your creativity, what you're creating in the world, and your ninth house of beliefs, the house of God. Okay. So it's triggering these three houses. Your Dharma is your purpose. Okay. So this new moon is going to be challenging you about your purpose. Are you moving with your purpose, the purpose for your body, for your soul, for your spirit, for your work, for your children, your family, etc., etc.? I say family because you've got Pluto down there, okay, and that's in your fourth house of home, family, and roots. Opposite you in your relationship house is Uranus. It's retrograded back in there, but it's actually been in there since 2018. So you should have had many surprises in terms of your relationships, the way you relate, changes in your relationships, breakthrough, deepening, divorce, separation, anything you can think to do with relationships. It can indicate a need for independence here. You may have those urges to be independent, whether that means fully independent of your home life, if you're a younger person, or independent of your partner. It could be the tying up of things that have gone wrong in relationships. It could be the last messages about that, maybe we call it in the UK a decree absolute for your divorce. There'd be clarification there. But there could be secret things about you, things that you're not so conscious of that are coming through there in that first house. It is on your angles. And you've also got Pluto, fourth and 10th are your angles, first and seventh. So you, relationships, your home and your work, your public life, vocation. Okay, they're all being triggered. Look at your own chart, look at the themes and topics, and, journal from those themes and topics. What are you needing to let go of? What needs to die? Um, what changes do you need? What transformation is coming? What cycle are you in? Okay. I'm going to pull you, I'm only going lightly over the horoscopes. I'm going to pull you oh, look, that's wanting to come out. I'm going to pull you a shadow card. They've been beautifully on point. We'll see how it goes now. Okay, you've got a very complicated sigil there. It's number 76. I'm going to put my reading glasses on because the print's so small in this book. And I'll hold it up again in a minute when I found the page. 1 second. This is going to show you a blind spot, okay, that we may need to work on. Oh, goodness. So, my lovely Scorpios, in your intensity and your search for truth, you have got a blind spot and it's called deflection. If you've drawn this sigil, you are currently using deflection as a tool to avoid self-awareness. This new moon is in your house of self. In a situation where you really do need to recognize something within yourself. To deflect something is to cause that thing to change direction by interposing something. This turns it off its straight course and into another direction, even back in the original direction it came from. Deflection is when something someone communicates to another causes that person to feel triggered. As a revolt, it might be a revolt with Uranus there in the seventh. As a result, instead of taking in the perceived criticism, they either ignore, deny, or turn away from it. Or worse, they turn it back to the person who communicated it in the first place. This is done to avoid painful memories, emotions, and thoughts, but it also prevents the person deflecting the comment from being self-aware. Oh, so Scorpio, you're being called not to deflect. Maybe journal about it. Maybe you're not. Maybe someone else is deflecting. So think about that. Think about the topics. I mean, it is you, self-awareness, you is Scorpio, depth, shadow work, and Uranus is in your seventh house, okay? And then you have that Pluto in your fourth, home, family, roots. Okay, then that's what I have for you. It's very light. Well, light, it's short, it's not in depth, your horoscope. If you want the ritual leaflet, it also has more journal prompts in it. Go to www.soulsymbols.co.uk. It should be on the blog page. Okay. See you in the next one, Scorpio. Bye bye. Hello, Sagittarius. So, this new moon is in your 12th house. That is the house of the subconscious, of things that are hidden. That's yourself, subconscious. It is about isolation. It can be mental health institutions. It can be hospitals, prisons. You may work there. You may have a relative there. You may visit there. It can also be about hidden illnesses, hidden addictions, and hidden enemies. So lots of work there. There may be things that have been going on in any of those areas that are coming to a breakthrough for you. Okay. And Mercury Cazimi will give you that clarity. So these hidden things could be to do with relationships. Okay, we talked about confessions, truth being revealed in relationships, any relationships, work, family, friends, community, any relationships that you are participating in. Okay, the sun's there, that could be a breakthrough and clarity about your purpose, excuse me, about your spiritual work. But this messenger, Mercury here in his chariot with the sun, is going to maybe give you information about your communication, what you've been missing that needs communicating, perhaps from your soul. The moon's there too. It could be a health issue, your body, or a circumstance, okay? And opposing this new moon over in your sixth house, Taurus, is Uranus, okay? Now, Taurus is about work, hard work, employers, employees, so your workplace. It's also about your health. So if you have had health issues and not had a diagnosis, for instance, this information coming from Mercury could be a diagnosis or it could be a breakthrough. It could also be that that hidden enemy, which is open enemies here in Taurus, comes through, and you have a revelation about someone who's working against you. And that can be yourself. That can be, this is 12th house is about self-sabotage too. So all those delicious things, you may have things come through to alert you to. Okay, your ruler at the moment is exalted there in Cancer, and it's part of this beautiful trine between Scorpio, your 12th, Pisces, your 4th, and Cancer, your 8th. They are the moksha houses. They are about spiritual liberation. Okay. So that breaking through, breaking free that we talked about, your soul breaking out. So this push, this breakthrough here with Uranus in your 6th house. Okay. It's been there since 2018. It was in Gemini for a short spell. It's retrograded back into Taurus and will be here, I think, until April. Okay, so yeah, some revelations there that you can work with, that you can face your fears, that you can move through here, Sagittarius. Okay, and with Jupiter, your ruler up there in the 8th, that can be about debts. It can be about karmic debts, you know, the end of cycles for you of cause and actions and consequences, good or bad, is blessing you up there in the 8th. It can be about debts, financial debts, so maybe debt relief, but messages coming through that have been hidden to an extent. Okay, so that is a very quick going over of your chart. It'll also depend on your personal chart, what planets it's triggering there. So have a look at what planets you've got in your 12th house, your 6th house where Uranus is, and your 8th house where your ruler is. And of course, you've got Mars. I'm just noticing Mars in your first. So Mars will be there kind of with the passion, the desires, the pushing forward, the driving. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. And that's you, your first house. If it's your ascendant, it's everything about you. Okay. So your card is number 45. It looks a beautiful sigil. So this is your shadow card. I'm going to put my reading glasses on and find the commentary in the book, number 45. What is your blind spot? Okay, they've been brilliant so far. So this is called the filter. If you've drawn this sigil, you are seeing the situation at hand through a filter and you don't even know it. As a result, you're not seeing the situation clearly. Brilliant, because the 12th house this new moon is in, you should get that clarity. All of us have a perspective. Perspectives are limited in that unless we are using a totally objective perspective, our perspective is subjective. Okay. An object will look different depending on what perspective you have of that object. Each perspective is a different angle on something. Our perspective shapes our experiences, and our experiences shape our perspective. We could look at an objective perspective as an amalgamation of all subjective perspectives relative to something. Okay, so have a look at your filters. Are there filters you need to release, let go of? Okay, journal about it. Do some free writing. Okay, you know, it may uncover some desires that you've had hidden. It may break through a situation with that Uranus in your 6th, in work or in health. Okay, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. If you want the rituals, the link will be below, or you can just hop on straight over to www.soulsymbols.co.uk and nip in the soul symbols box on the launch pad, and then go to the blog on the first page, okay? And it will be in there. There are rituals and there are further journal prompts for you. All right, then, Sagittarius, enjoy the new moon. Okay, see you in the next one. Hello, Capricorn. So, this new moon is happening in your 11th house. So, that is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. It's about your friends, your community. It can be about a benefactor, anyone who supports you in attaining your goals, really. Um, yeah, so beautiful there. You will have Mercury, the moon's here. It's because we've changed the ascendant. I've had to go forward to get you on the ascendant, okay? Um, but the moon would be in here at 28 degrees. So this Mercury Cazimi is going to bring you some clarity here. It could be that you're looking for that support in what you're doing in your life, okay? And that will become clear over this Scorpio new moon for you. You have the opposition to this new moon and Mercury Cazimi down there in your 5th house, okay? Uranus in Taurus in your 5th house, the joy of Venus. It's the house of good fortune. Again, beautiful house for you. This is the joy of Jupiter, your 11th. So you've got some beautiful energies going on here for you, Capricorn. But this Uranus has been in your 5th house of family, not family, of children, romance, entrepreneurship, risk taking, gambling, stock market, or the horses, dogs, whatever you like to take a risk on. But it is about risk taking here. Okay, so you have a breakthrough coming up. Uranus, as I said, been in there since 2018. It's retrograded back. Mercury's in retrograde too, so we're resetting in this 11th house of hopes, dreams and wishes, and this 5th house of children. There may have been, well, you would have seen breakthroughs and awakenings, and it may be this push for independence. If you're living at home with your parents, it may be that you've broken free of home and you've gone off and you've made a new community, but here in the 11th house. So a new family of peers, So, or it could be about your children moving away from home. They may have come back with Uranus retrograde, okay? But it's tying up the loose ends here. So there will probably be more awakening, more breakthrough, the tying up of its work that it's done in Taurus there from now until April. I believe it goes back into your 6th house of work, hard work and health. Okay, you've got this groundwater trine in Scorpio, your 11th, Pisces, your 3rd, and your ruler sits there in your 3rd, Saturn, ruler of this 1st. Okay, and also in your 7th, with an exalted Jupiter in your relationship house, okay? This is your environment, the water you swim in, it's your siblings, it's your neighbours, your local community, etc. So this is triggering the trine of Kama, K-A-M-A, which is about your pleasure, okay? The love you were born to have, the relationship, all the things that bring you pleasure. Okay, so this is all triggered here for you. There is clarity there. We have Venus here in the 11th, the house of good fortune, and it is here. Sorry, not the house of good fortune. It's that I'm tired, okay? The house of good spirit. That's what it is. Good diamond, good spirit here. You've got Venus there, so we could have things about relationships. So there should be breakthroughs here. There may need, with it being Scorpio, some work here. Maybe you had some difficulties, gaining that independence, even within a different group of people, or different circumstances with this fifth. Maybe you're looking to break out independently, take some more risks, okay? Maybe change your local environment with your ruler here. You've got the ruler of this new moon. It's not witnessing it because it's in aversion, it's in the house next to it, but it's in your 12th house. So Mars here is all things hidden, your subconscious, etc. So if you've got issues, it may be that Mars is pushing through, driving through. You may have desires rising to the surface that you didn't know, passions that are changing, and hence you want to break out, you want this liberation, okay, so you can get the pleasure that you want to have. Okay, very quick ones there for you, Capricorn, but I shall have a look at the shadow cards if you want to. There is that write up on the rituals for this new moon if you're into your rituals. If you go to www.soulsymbols.co.uk, go on the launch page, and look at the blog. It'll be there. It's got more journal prompts, but this is to add more prompts for you, or a prompt if you don't want to look at that. That looks like a last quarter moon there. Okay, you got 59. I am now going to change into my reading glasses and have a look at the book. These have been extremely good so far, but this is your blind spot, your shadow, the thing that you may not be able to see. And you do have the ruler of the new moon in your 12th. So 59, it's called projection. If you've drawn this sigil, you were projecting onto someone else. These are very direct, these cards. We're born relationally dependent. Being born relationally dependent into families that socialize us into a society that is not yet fully evolved spells trouble. Basically, we learn that some aspects of ourselves are acceptable and others are not. What is acceptable versus unacceptable depends on the perspective of the family you're born into and the societies, I guess, and your early learning. And your Saturn in the 3rd house is about early learning there, okay? The aspects of us that are seen as acceptable, both positive and negative, are rejected by our family, and the aspects that are seen as acceptable are not. So being relationally dependent in the name of survival, we do anything we can to disown, deny, and suppress those aspects in ourselves that are disapproved of, whilst exaggerating those that are approved of. We dissociate from what we disapprove of. This creates a split within the person that we call the conscious and the subconscious. This self-preservation instinct is, in fact, our first act of self-rejection. So that, Capricorn, for you, is solid shadow work. It's just asking you to do your shadow work. So ask yourself, what parts are you rejecting? That you may get that clarity, and it may come, as you're relating to other people, your friends, or your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Are you going for them? Are you finding them all not so good? This is about risk-taking Uranus, yeah. So go for it, Capricorn. Have a wonderful new moon. Have some lovely revelations and uncoverings, and yeah, just go for it, Capricorn. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Aquarius. So this new moon for you is up here in your 10th house. Okay, so this Scorpio 10th is the house of career, vocation, your face out in public, your status. It's mid-heaven. It's what's standing out and shining above all else. Okay. You may get some clarity about your career, your vocation. It may not be exactly the thing that you want. And this is maybe what is coming through for you. Okay. Your opposition with Uranus is down there in your fourth house, which is the inner life. It's home, family, roots. It can be to do with ancestral lineage, that kind of work and that energy there. But Uranus has been there in your fourth house on your angles. This is quite a biggie for you, this new moon, because it is on your angles. Okay. But it's been there since 2018. So it's been beavering away, bringing shock and awe and breakthrough and disruption in your home family roots. That can be your family now or your family of origin or your lineage, your ancestral lineage. But it's tying up loose ends there, okay? And it probably will be bringing some more disruption in order for you to do this work of the new moon with, if you haven't listened to the introduction, go listen to it, because there's so much there that needs to be looked at. But it's looking that there's a new seed, a new beginning for you. It is a new lunar cycle in this public house, in your sense of status, in your career. And it is being a push for independence and freedom here, a rebellion, a revolution down here in your fourth house. So it could be your soul rebellion, your inner life, the fact that your soul is wanting to push you through and get you doing the work you were born for. And I say this because this grand trine is sitting in the Arta house, which means earth. And it's about the work you're born to do. Okay. And the work you're born to do is not always paid. Okay. It can be vocational, it can be voluntary, it can be something that you do. It's water, could be to do with healing. We're talking up here about relationship with Venus here, your body, mothering, with the moon up here in your 10th. The father's there, but your purpose, okay, and the way you express and communicate yourself, okay. So breakthrough there. Sudden breakthrough, sudden disruption is happening to tie these loose ends up. Could be that you're discovering something about the purpose you were born for. This is your second, okay. Pisces is your second, that's your income. Cancer is your sixth, hard work and health, employers, employees. And your 10th is your vocation, the work that you do, okay, art of the work you were born for. So yeah, and your ruler is Saturn. In traditional, in Hellenistic astrology, it's Saturn, and that is in your house, your second house of income, finances, possessions, everything you need to live. So this breakthrough could definitely be this new cycle. It is mid-cycle. We've just had the sun triggering it. It's moving out of, it's still in the 3-degree orb, but it will be moving on soon. But it activated it, I think 2-3 days ago. I've got a video, you can go check that out, okay. But the sun is spirit's life force, its purpose, it's the plot line. So I think some breakthroughs here for you, Aquarius. You've also got this Pluto sitting in your first house, okay, so you're getting major transformation here, major transformation. So I've got a feeling that one of the aspects that could be happening is a breakthrough in your soul coming out of its casing and going, I want to do this. And you're having to organize your affairs at home and your work affairs to actually go for the thing you want to go. Okay. And we do have the ruler of this new moon here in the 11th, which is your hopes, dreams, wishes. Okay. Mars, the ruler, not your ruler, the ruler of the new moon. Okay. It's not witnessing it, it's in aversion here, but it's hosting it. And it's in this 11th house. Maybe a benefactor comes, someone who can help you, go for that work that you were born to do rather than just finances to bring in. Yeah. And you're going to have the discipline with your ruler there in the second to kind of play with your income and kind of get disciplined about what you want to do in that work, and an exalted Jupiter in the house of hard work, employers, employees, that's blessing you there. Okay, so that's what I have for you. It's a very short one, Aquarius. I'll now pour you a lovely blind spot tarot for your shadow work. What is Aquarius got a blind spot about? What is being missed? Okay, and you can look at the additional journal prompts. You can use this for a journal prompt just to self-reflect and look at your intentions going on for this new moon. Go over to www.soulsymbols.co.uk, go to the launch page, blog, and it will be in there, okay? It'll all be there for you, the rituals and the journal prompts. Okay, yeah, I think I know this one. I think this is self-concept. Okay, it's been out already, and I've pulled it a few times in my shadow work. Okay, one sec, and I will find it for you. I'm pretty sure it is self-concept. Am I right? Oh, yeah, it is. Look, self-concept. Okay, Aquarius, if you've drawn this sigil, your blind spot is your desire to see yourself and for other people to see you as a good person. Okay, Pluto baby. Pluto brings, Pluto's lord of the underworld and brings up all the dirt and desires and the taboo things that you don't want to look at, things that we've discussed already. Okay. The ego is a singular identity that you call by your name. It is an amalgamation of all the things you identify with, the things you call I, me, or mine. Ego is self-concept. We need our ego, people. We do need our ego to operate out in the world, but it shouldn't be in the driving seat. Okay. Because we are raised relationally dependent in a society in which our survival depends upon each other and has for thousands of years, the only way for ourself to survive is if we are is if we are in the good favor of the rest of the social group. Yeah, and we've got that Mars in your 11th, which is networking friends. The rest of the social group, beginning with our parents when we were young, have to approve of us. Uranus in the 4th, maybe we're rebelling against that. Your inner life, they only approve of us if we are good. That is, if we were being in a way and doing things in a way that is deemed good by specific individuals around us. So, yeah, if you find yourself, Aquarius, trying to be viewed as good, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with goodness, but it is that ignoring the shadow side of us. So it's typical shadow work. You've got Pluto there. There he is, digging the dirt up from the underworld. Okay. So use it or drop it. If it resonates, use it with you. Okay, then, Aquarius, that's what I got for you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Pisces. My lovely, last but not least, Pisces. Happen to wait patiently till the end. Pisces, you have this new moon in your 9th house, Scorpio. It is called the house of God, and it's the joy of the sun, and the sun is present here, obviously. Okay. The 9th house is about higher learning. It's about faith, belief, philosophy, mentors, gurus. That's the flavor of the 9th house. And you're having something new seeded here. And it is an opposition to Your third house, which is your local environment, your day-to-day, the water you swim in, it's brothers, sisters, siblings. It's also your cousins, aunts, uncles, extended family. Okay, it is about communication. It's the joy of the moon sitting opposite. So the moon is also exalted here. It's in exile here. Okay, this new moon. There may be some breakthroughs here. We got Uranus. Okay, this is early learning as well as your communication and tech, but it's early learning rather than that higher learning here. And that also that higher learning can be the esoteric, can be learning the esoteric arts, astrology, numerology, tarot, uh, alchemy, any of those things, philosophy, hermetic philosophy, all of those things, okay, not just university learning, academic learning, it can be that spiritual learning, mysticism, anything up there. But you've got Uranus, you've got Uranus opposing here. Now, Uranus has been in your third house and it's been there since 2018 for the last 7 years, but it's retrograded. It did go into Gemini for a short while and it's retrograded back. And I think it will go back into Gemini in April 2026. So it's spending a bit of time here mopping up, doing its bits and pieces. This may be a real push for independence in your communication, in your self-expression, with your extended family and your siblings. It could be a breakthrough in terms of your neighborhood, your community, okay? Maybe employing skills there. And this is doing the last bit of work here. It is disruption. So your local environment, your extended family, there may be disruption. It may be a sibling and it brings disruption to you. When our siblings get disrupted, we often get disrupted for sure. But Mercury's it's in that Cazimi and it is going to bring some clarity there. Listen carefully, Pisces. Okay, listen very carefully. This is also your ninth house, your first house, and your fifth house is the grand water trine, and it is the triad of your Dharma. So it's the purpose you were born for. Okay, really important here for you, Pisces, with that sun up there. That is your life force spirit. It's the plot line. Okay, and the moon is the circumstances. It's your body, the mother, etc. Okay, so it could be anything, your belief in how you relate and your relationships, your belief in your body, your mother in skills, yourself. You've got that trine to Jupiter in the fifth house of children there. And your Mercury, how you express, how you communicate. Okay. There's going to be breakthroughs there, but there's probably going to be some deep work to do in terms of your belief. There's going to be disruption in that third house from Uranus down there. It may rock your stability, your sense of stability in the smaller things of life, okay? But keep yourself open to that because there may be a redirection of purpose, of Dharma here. Of Dharma. Now, your Dharma is your Dharma, it's the purpose you're born for, but you may not be fully aligned with it. You may get some breakthroughs and some real clarity. You may have a change of belief up here. You may fall away from, if you're in organized religion, you may have a fall away from that, or there may be a new philosophy, a new way of seeing the world, a new paradigm that you're pushing through. It may be that you need to take risks here in terms of your beliefs and going out on an arm to live your beliefs. Okay, so lots going on there. You've got, yeah, your ruler is sat there in your fifth. Okay, this is about risk taking. It's also about children, entrepreneurship, yeah, and gambling. So, yeah, And you have this, the other thing to look at with your dharma may be about your work. You know, it can be strongly connected with the work you're born to do, which is in your 10th there. And you've got Mars there, which is pushing that desire, pushing that energy there in Sagittarius. It's the big vision there, Sagittarius. But it's also, you know, Sagittarius is also about the instinctual, the primal. So it may be bringing things like that up for you, Mars. It is the 10th house, is your public face. Okay, maybe that publicly you've had some sort of bring down recently, some misfortune there. But you're going to get that breakthrough anyway here, and you're going to get that new vision, that new way of being there, new belief, new philosophy, breakthrough with your higher learning. Okay, it's very light look at it for you, Pisces. I'm going to pull you a shadow card. If you want some, you can use this for journal prompts, but if you want journal prompts that are written down, the rituals, they're at www.soulsymbols.co.uk. And if you go to the launch page, then go to the blog and it will be there, okay? And you can look at that, copy and paste it, or do what you need to do. Let's have a look at your blind spot. 74. Oh, that's a funny one. I don't know what this one is. I haven't had it come up. I'm going to put it down, find the page and swap my glasses to my reading glasses. They're my long distance ones. Old age for you. You have to have 2 pairs of glasses. Oh, let's hold this sigil up. Okay, the sigil may have some meaning for you. Okay, 74. So you means to an end attitude. Okay, this is your blind spot. This is your kind of shadow at the moment. If you've drawn this sigil, you're doing something you hate in order to get something you need, want, or like. Okay. You are approaching things with a means to an end attitude. That could be your Mars in your 10th house, that is bringing your real desires up, and you've got some conflict. You need to take some risks, that 5th house with your ruler in it. Though this makes sense, it is a contradiction and therefore makes it very hard to feel good about getting what you need, want, or like. And in many cases makes it impossible to actually get what you need, want, or like. I want you to imagine a person in a company wanting to climb the corporate ladder. Chances are they'll try to come up with strategy to achieve the goal of getting what they want. The strategy is carried out with a means to an end attitude, doing things we don't like and don't want to do in order to get what we want. When we're approaching getting what we want in a way where the ends justify the means, what we do is bulldoze the parts of ourselves that don't want to and don't enjoy doing something. We play a zero-sum game with those parts within us. Okay, most of us will find ourselves in scenarios like this at some point. So take what you will from that, Pisces, journal with it, and I hope that was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, Pisces.